Section 3 of The Birds of the Air by John Frost. This is the sparrowhawk, owl, peacock, guinea fowl, and bustard. The sparrowhawk. This bird is somewhat larger than a common pigeon, the male being about 12 inches in length and the female 15. It has a short, hooked, blue bill, slender reddish legs, and rather a long tail. The color of the eye is a bright orange. The plumage on the wings and upper parts of the body is brown, spotted with a yellowish dun. The lower parts in some are whitish and others of a russet color. The head is flat at the top, and above each eye is a strong and bony projection. A few scattered spots of white form a faint line running backwards towards the neck. The top of the head and all the upper parts of the body are of a dusky brown color. On the back part of the head there is a faint line of white. The greater quill feathers and the tail are dusky, with 4 bars of a darker hue on each. The inner edges of all the quills are marked with 2 or more large white spots. The tips of the tail feathers are white. The breast, belly, and under coverts of the wings and thighs are white, beautifully barred with brown. The throat is faintly streaked with brown. The legs and feet are yellow, claws black. The sparrowhawk is very numerous in various parts of the world, from Russia to the Cape of Good Hope. The female builds in high rocks, lofty ruins, or hollow trees, but will sometimes condescend to take up with the old nest of a crow. The owl. Owls may be divided into 2 classes, namely those with and those without tufts of feathers growing up from the head, like ears or horns. In the former class, the great horned owl is most conspicuous. It is the largest of the genus, being nearly equal in size to an eagle. It builds in rocks or mountains, and feeds on young hares, rabbits, and even pheasants and grouse. The long-eared owl is about 14 inches in length. Its plumage is marked with various shades of brown, yellow, and cream color. The legs and feet are covered with feathers. It inhabits ruined buildings and hollow trees. The short-eared owl is nearly of the same size as the bird we have just noticed. Its horns never consist of more than 3 feathers, while those of the long-eared owl are composed of 6. The short-eared owl flies by day. The white owl, barn owl, or screech owl, and the brown ivy owl are very common birds. The white owl inhabits barns, outhouses, etc. Its food generally consists of mice. The brown owl frequents woods and builds in hollows of trees. It feeds on mice, moles, etc. Some of this genus are remarkable for the smallness of their size. There is a Siberian species which barely exceeds a sparrow in bulk, and another, the little owl, which is not much larger than the thrush, and sees better by day than night. It preys on small birds, mice, etc. The greater part of owls are nocturnal birds, although some species prey during the daytime, and these, it has been observed, bear a stronger resemblance to the hawks than the rest of the genus. The peacock. To describe in adequate terms the dazzling beauties of this elegant bird would be a task of no small difficulty. Its head is adorned with a tuft consisting of 24 feathers, whose slender shafts are furnished with webs only at the ends, painted with the most exquisite green mixed with gold. The head, throat, neck, and breast are of a deep blue, glossed with green and gold. The greater coverts and bastard wings are reddish-brown, as are also the quills, some of which are variegated with black and green. The under part of the body is black with a greenish hue, but the distinguishing character of this singular bird is its train, which rises just above the tail, and when erected, forms a fan of the most resplendent hues. The 2 middle feathers are sometimes 4 feet and a half long, the others gradually diminishing on each side. The shafts, white, and furnished from their origin nearly to the end, with parted filaments of varying colors ending in a flat vein, which is decorated with what is called the eye. The real tail consists of short, stiff brown feathers which serve as a support to the train. When pleased or delighted, and in sight of his females, the peacock erects his train and displays all the majesty of his beauty. All his movements are full of dignity. His head and neck bend nobly back. His pace is slow and solemn. and he frequently turns slowly and gracefully round as if to catch the sunbeams in every direction, and produce new colors of inconceivable richness and beauty, accompanied at the same time with a hollow murmuring voice expressive of desire. The cry of the peacock at other times is often repeated and very disagreeable. The plumes are shed every year, and while molting them, the bird, as if humiliated, retires from view. The peahen is somewhat less than the male, and though furnished both with a train and crest, is destitute of those dazzling beauties which distinguish her consort. The pintado, or guinea fowl. This bird is originally a native of Africa, but has been long naturalized in this country and is considered as a delicacy. It is about the size of a common hen, but being supported on longer legs, it looks much larger. Its head is covered with a kind of helmet, the back is round, and the tail turned downward, like that of a partridge. The whole plumage is black or dark gray, diversified with white spots, and the wattles, proceeding from the upper chap, give it a very peculiar aspect. All their habits resemble those of the poultry kind, and they agree in every other respect except that the sex can only be distinguished by the color of the wattles, those of the male being of a bluish cast, while in the female they are more inclining to red. The voice of the guinea fowl is extremely harsh and discordant. The eggs are smaller than those of the domestic hen, but have a harder shell. The bustard. Of the bustard tribe there are about 12 species, most of which are inhabitants of Europe. They have bills somewhat convex, long legs, naked above the knees, and only 3 toes, all of which are placed forward. The great bustard is a native of England, and is the largest of the land fowls of that country, the male sometimes weighing upwards of 25 pounds. The male of this variety differs in one remarkable respect from the female, which is in being furnished with a pouch in the forepart of the neck, capable of containing about 2 quarts of water. This water the animal can eject with such violence as not unfrequently to baffle the attacks of birds of prey. The bustard is nearly 4 feet in length and 9 in breadth. Its neck is a foot long and its legs 18 inches. The head and neck of the male are ash-colored. The back is barred transversely with bright rust color and black. The belly is white, and the tail, which consists of 20 feathers, is barred with red and black. The female is little more than half as large as the male, and her colors are less bright. The top of her head is of a deep orange, and the remaining part is brown. She also varies from the male in not having a tuft on either side of the head. End of section 3, read by Elsie Selwyn.